So I don't know when it happened, I don't know how, I can't pinpoint the transition, but somewhere along the line I became an eyebrows after foundation kind of girl. I use the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the American version. I haven't compared to see if like ingredients are different or anything, but this is definitely a shade we don't have in the UK. It's 340. You guys know, or if you don't know, I already did a review of the foundation because I really like it. It's one of my favorite, no, probably my favorite drugstore foundation. I love the Maybelline Fit Me, but normally I use, and obviously this is what the UK ones look like. So when I did the review of it, I was using 350, but that was in the summer, and I quickly realized that 350 is very dark for me, so I basically used 350 mixed with 330. This doesn't come with a pump, so I actually prefer the UK packaging, even though it's like plastic and cheap. Yeah, like this looks nicer, but it doesn't come with a pump, so it's very irritating. I'm scared that one day I'll be doing my makeup like drunk or something and I'll just pour out half of this. I like it, I like it. It's a good mash. It's a good mash. I've also put down the base on my eyes, so let me just, I don't even know what I'm doing. So today's video is basically a recounting of a situation that happened a couple weeks ago now. So I was at my sister's house. My sister is, so my older sister, clearly it's not gonna, anyway, so my older sister had some friends over, and obviously where my sister's older than me and her friends are older than her, you know, clearly we're talking about some grown people. So we're talking like mid-30s pushing 40. I basically ended up having an argument with this auntie, and it was just a lot, guys. It was a lot. I don't even know how to do this. I guess I should just tell it how it happened. So this all started because she was telling a story about this woman that she allegedly met. I don't even, as it progresses, you guys will see why I don't even believe that this genuinely happened. So guys, I literally just used two colors, an orange and a purple. So the auntie was telling a story now, and obviously I call her auntie in the Nigerian sense, where anyone that's a certain amount of years older than you is automatically auntie or uncle, you know, in the respectful sense of the word, as opposed to indicating that she's related to me in any way. So this auntie was telling the story about how she met this woman that she met allegedly had told the auntie that she had her womb removed. Now I don't know if she means that the woman had a full-on hysterectomy or if she means that she had her tubes tied, but apparently, allegedly, this woman had told this auntie that she had her womb removed because she never wanted children. So she never, like, in her life had never wanted children, and she wanted to ensure, the woman was married, by the way, so this is a married woman talking about how she had her her reproductive system closed for business because she'd never wanted children, so obviously she wants to make sure that she can't have children. And this woman told the auntie allegedly that she did this because she likes her holidays too much. And I say that, I make that point because the auntie was so focused on the fact that this woman said, allegedly, that she likes her holidays too much to have children. Obviously, for me, I took that as, if this conversation even ever happened, I took it as the woman was saying she likes her lifestyle too much to have children. Do you know what I mean? Not just specifically only holidays. Like, her lifestyle would not accommodate children. That's how I took it. But this auntie was literally just there like, so this woman just wanted to go on holidays, that's why she doesn't want to have children. So I'm gonna leave the morality of all that aside, the morality of choosing not to have children, because obviously this auntie was coming from a very religious point of view. She's Catholic. She was coming from a very religious point of view about procreation and reproduction. So forget arguing about whether that's hypothetical woman who had her womb removed was right or wrong or whatever. But this then led into a general conversation about kind of women's rights, feminism, and this generation. And she was definitely one of those. And it's so funny because I mentioned this scenario briefly on Twitter, and like my cousin and some other people like responded, you know, like they got where I was coming from. Like they really responded with vim. So I was like, okay, let me remember to make a video on this topic. And it was just basically that very stereotypical Nigerian auntie perspective. This, remember I said stereotypical, it's not all of you, but a very stereotypical perspective that this generation, and maybe this generation is spoiled, it's rotten. This is a generation of spoiled women, of spoiled girls, of spoiled people, you know, like they kind of look at our generation as a problem. Now obviously I'm someone who wholeheartedly believes in human progress. I believe that as humans we are progressing as opposed to regressing. I believe that things are getting better and better things are still to come, whereas there are a lot of people who want to go back to the olden days. It was so funny because she was also arguing with my sister, and it's kind of, now like my sister didn't say this in the context of choosing whether to have children or not, but she was talking generally about something else, and it would take ages to kind of explain everything, so I'm not going to explain what my sister was talking about. But my sister was talking about a situation, and she was talking about how women have, or people have, choice. And I swear the word choice, the idea that a human being, or more specifically a woman, has any kind of autonomy or choice, it was like one kind of trigger, just everyone needs to be forced down this particular path kind of mentality. So as soon as my sister said the word choice, yeah, I promise you this woman was like, no, no, because my nieces were, so my nieces are at that age, the two older ones, where they feel like they're a bit too old to play with the babies. When adult conversations going on, they'll be poking their head round small. So my nieces were there at the time, and she was just like, no, sorry, there's some things that you can't say around children. You can't say around children, you just give them the wrong idea. I was thinking, wow, telling a human being that they have autonomy and choice is a dirty idea. It's a dirty phrase to say around children. I'm so confused. So I feel like that just gives you the kind of idea of the mentality and of the context in which we were having this argument. Anyway, to cut this long story a bit shorter, honestly, eyeliner is just not worth, it's just not worth the hassle. It's really not. Whenever I put on eyeliner, it just reminds me of me back in sixth form times. Like I used to be that person that was only wearing winged liner, nothing else, not even eyebrows, just winged liner. Anyway, okay, so next I'm going to go in with concealer. Again, these are from America. I know that we have them here, but they expanded the shade range, and there's two new colors, like tan and something else, I don't know. So I've got golden and caramel. I feel like caramel's a bit dark, like caramel's probably like my actual color, and golden's a bit light, so I'm gonna go in with golden first and see how this works. Anyway, where was I in the story? Okay. Oh. Okay. This is lighter than I normally go. I will confess. Okay. And it's a lot of product as well. I did not realize it was going to come out like that. Add in some caramel. Yeah, this is too much product. I can't even add any more, even if I wanted to. Just gonna let this dry a bit because it's quite wet. Where was I in this story? The conversation kind of went from this hypothetical scenario with this woman that she met, apparently, that was telling her whole life story, to her now talking about me directly. So for example, stuff like, I said, again, because we got onto the topic of feminism and women's rights and choice, like a big chunk of it was about choice. I said, I don't intend to take my husband's name. You know, it's not a negotiable for me. I'm just not going to do it because it's just not something that interests me. Do you understand? And that's the choice that I've made in my life. She kind of just laughed at me, as if even just basic things like domestic violence, things that you would think, it's not even a feminism issue, it's not even a this generation issue, things that should not be a problem, sis was ready to fight me on. Honestly, this auntie, she was just not impressed with anything I had to say at all. It was a hard conversation to have, you know. Even the simple statement of I want my marriage to be a partnership when eventually the day comes. Obviously, me myself, I'm even speaking in hypotheticals because that is a long way away. The idea that someone might want to postpone the whole family marriage thing until they are established in their career, etc., was just like, it was literally disgusting to her. As in, I made the comment, I kind of set out my timeline for my life, and she was just not having it. She said, oh, you should never say never, you don't know what God's plan is for you, you don't know what God has in store for you, you can't say that you're not going to have kids in X amount of years, you can't say that you're not going to get married in X amount of years because you don't know what God has planned for you. And I was like, I just don't understand why. For example, now, if I said in the next 10 years I would like to be a PhD holder, no one would be saying, oh no, you shouldn't aspire to be a PhD holder because you don't know what God has planned for you. No, you would say that's good. Obviously, we all make plans in life with the knowledge that things are not going to work out exactly how we've planned them, and obviously circumstances can change. You know, what you expected your life to look like very well may not be what your life ends. Guys, this concealer is beautiful. This concealer is so nice, mate. I think that it's very obvious that any plan you make for your life is just you planning, and things and circumstances may change. But the fact that she was like that she knows people, or there's people in the world that have a master's degree and no husband or no children, and I was like, yeah, and there's people in the world that have children and no master's degree. I don't understand why the worth of me as a woman in her eyes would be measured by the fact that I have a husband and children. Do you understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, everyone is allowed, and the whole discussion around choice feminism, in my opinion, is a different matter, because really and truly, any choices you make within the current societal structures, are they really free choices? And then again, you know, you have the wider issue of, is any choice we make free from external influences? No, it's not. At the same time, I don't feel like you can say that it truly is their choice when you have kind of hundreds of years of conditioning and hundreds of years of, you know, patriarchal structures. And one thing I noted as well, at the time that I was talking about this situation, it was because on Nigerian Twitter, there was a lot of discussion about feminism, about kind of women's rights, I guess, that kind of thing. And I know that the woman I'm talking about is not on Twitter, so I won't say that she was influenced by that discussion, but maybe the discussion kind of flew over to Facebook. You know how these things go, like something starts on one app and it ends up on another app. So I don't know if she saw any of that discussion, and that's what prompted her to be so angry about feminism and how this generation, and maybe will, and it just, I think what annoys me the most in this whole discussion is making it seem like, especially us diasporans, yeah, making it seem that like we've come to this country, we've come to the West, and we've adopted their style of thinking, and we've adopted their cultural norms, and that feminism and pushing for equality and pushing for certain rights for women and pushing for greater freedoms for women in, I won't even say Nigerian society, in Igbo society, as an Igbo girl, making it out that we've come here to kind of copy the white man, and we've come here to lose our culture in being independent women, I guess. It just frustrates me to no end, because a basic reading of even just colonial Igbo history, because obviously a lot of our pre-colonial history has been lost through time, but even just looking at colonial Igbo history, women have always been activists, women have always protected their communities, women have always asked for a voice, have always demanded for a voice. Like, there's so much you can find out about Igbo women and their power and their struggle. They have never sat back and said Igbo society is good for us as women and we like things the way they are, and there's always been activism in the Igbo community. So to make it out like we've come here, guys, I'm sorry if I don't, because I'm not going to stop talking. So to make it out as if equality, equity, women's rights is something that is solely for Western women, and to what I think further than that, to make it out as if arguing and asking for these things and agitating for these things is destroying our culture. I don't understand what. So our culture is for women to be oppressed. I'm a bit lost, B. So I think I was just, I was frustrated. And the thing is, I'm a very respectful person, don't get me wrong. I'm not someone who's gonna talk to my elders anyhow. That has been ingrained in me, and this woman is definitely my elder, but she was so condescending. Every point that I made that she couldn't argue with, which was all of them, she would just kind of come back at me with, well, I want to see you, like, I'll meet you here in 15 years, I'll meet you here in 15 years, kind of implying that because I haven't experienced, I guess I haven't even experienced like a proper relationship, I haven't experienced love, I haven't been married, I haven't had children, etc. I think making it out that because of that I don't have a voice, and because of that I don't have a right to participate in this conversation, I was not having it. And anyone that knows me, and even you guys, I'm sure from my channel, you can tell that I'm not going to take that. Basically, it reminded me of this scene in Underground, you know, Underground, the show. Like, I only just watched it on Netflix last month being August, so I literally only just watched Underground. Oh, what is her name? What is her name? What is her name? The I can't remember anyone's names. Noah, Rosalie's mum. Oh, she's one of my favorite characters as well, and I can't remember her name. Rosalie's mum, where she basically highlights that, and I think the master says it at a different point as well, but just this idea that in order to effectively uphold this institution of slavery, that you kind of break the mothers and you kind of instill obedience in the mothers, and then when they have children they'll pass that trait on to them. And that's how patriarchy works. You know, your value as a woman being tied to securing a marriage, to having children, and especially to having sons, and to supporting your husband to be the best person that he can be. And if that's where your value is tied to, when you now have a daughter, when you now have a younger one, you feel that it's important to educate them in order for them to be the best woman that they can be. And that's how it works, you pass it on. The Nigerian woman, the bitter Nigerian auntie, is most definitely an upholder of patriarchy. The bitter auntie that will come and tell you, despite the fact that she knows her marriage is shambles, despite the fact that she knows that she's married to a monster, despite the fact that her husband will spend like 6 months a year in Niger doing God knows what, up and down, because you know these uncles are nasty. Okay, they'll be gallivanting up and down, disrespecting their marriage at every turn, disrespecting their wives at every turn, yet for some reason these aunties are desperate for you to live the same life as them. And I think what is interesting is they don't realize that more time we've seen what they go through, we've seen what they endure, and we don't want that for our lives. But they don't seem to get that, they don't seem to understand. And don't get me wrong, I'm not implying anything about this woman's marriage at all, because again, her husband seemed like a lovely guy. I'm not implying anything explicitly about her. The state of Nigerian society as it regards marriage and so I just think it's hella cheeky for people to kind of look down on this generation every day. Feminism this, feminism that, feminism is some disease that's ravishing. Listen, honey, feminism in Nigeria did not start with Chimamanda. Get it right. It did not start with Chimamanda. It's not this brand new wild concept. Just because we haven't been using Western terminology, just because people haven't been describing it as the patriarchy, for example, does not mean that feminist ideals have not lived and grown amongst Igbo women, Nigerian women for centuries, talk about decades. So just don't even, I'm the kind of person that I can have an argument, and in the argument it looks like I'm heated. Like when I debate and I love it, and I love arguing, and I love the battle of ideas. But once I'm done, unless you're a Nazi, do you know what I mean? Like, unless you're just a vile human being, once we're done and I can see where you're coming from, despite the fact that more time I won't agree because I'm right, obviously, but once we're done, I can move forward. You know, I'm not going to be harboring it in my heart. Like, this woman is, you know, she's, like I said, she's, well, more my brother-in-law's friend than my sister's friend, to be honest. But, you know, she's their family friend, and when I'm at my sister's house, more time I'm going to bump into her again, and we're going to be fine, and we're going to be cordial. But from her side of things, this woman's whole world might as well have come crashing down. She was not having it. You could tell after the conversation was done, she was just not. She was not. Oh gosh, it was funny. She was just, you could tell she was there with her little boy as well. Like, she just wanted to leave. She was like, these heathens, these sinners that I have come to commune with, Lord, take me home. Women end up being taught, and they pass it on to other women, and they shame other women, and they look down on other women. You know, you kind of hope that certain ideas are going to die out with certain generations, but they're just not. They're not. This video is going to be way too long, and there's nothing I want to cut out too, so it's like, it's rough. Let me stop talking and do the rest of my makeup and come back when we're all done, because at this point I don't know when this video is going to end. Alright guys, as you can see, I've done like setting spray and stuff. I don't like putting eyelashes on until I've done setting spray, and I mean, yeah, I don't like finishing my eyes until I've done setting spray and everything. So I've done my lashes and mascara. Whew. And then to wrap this all up, oh god, I don't know how to. Yes, wig made by me. Taking appointments now. Guys, I'm just joking. Taking appointments never. Yeah, this video, I'm not in the business of blaming you know, our bitter Nigerian aunties for the methods they've developed to deal with, to handle, you know, patriarchal structures. Like, oh, how did I forget to tell you guys? She said, and this came up in the conversation of when you marry someone who's a bit sideways, like a bit questionable in character, and she said her advice was not leave him. It was not, no, she said these, let me see if I can get my knees into, she said these, she means when your husband is a terrorist, okay, I don't mean a literal terrorist, but when he's a terrorizer, he's a terrorist, and you're married to a terrorist, she said, no, not leave him, you know, don't exit the toxic situation. No, her advice was you go down on your knees in prayer, because as a woman, her words, as a woman, prayer is your biggest weapon. And I just feel like in 2018 we can't be doing this, auntie. We can't. I want them to want better for us. I look at my nieces, and you know, I look at people born after me, and I hope that their generation improves. I hope for better things for them, and I just want our, you know, Nigerian aunties, instead of being bitter, be better. Hope for better for us. Do you know what I mean? Wish better for us than what you have for yourself. Just anyway, that's my own share. Just do better, so we can all be better. Oh, imagine if she saw this video. I think my sister would kill me. I think my sister would literally murder me. Oh gosh, I always get scared. You guys know when I have flat, like short hair, because my head is huge, so I feel like when my hair's like this, it makes my head look even bigger. But I think I'm feeling it. Yeah? No? Maybe? I don't know. Okay, lips. So, sorry guys, let me just, I've been talking so long, all the lip balm I put on at the beginning has evaporated. So in my story time I did about my uni flatmates, if you haven't watched them, go watch them. Like some of you guys really liked the lip combination, thank you for your comments. And it was literally this Barry-M lip liner in Plum and this Essence lip gloss in Shine Shine Shine, which is it's really my go-to combo at the moment. Pretty much all I wear. I literally line and fill in a bit, but the lighting has proper changed, hasn't it? I'm pretty much done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that I did not... See, the thing is, when I think a video is going to be a bit touchy, it never is. And then when I upload a video with no intention to offend anyone, all of a sudden offense is caused. So I hope I did not offend any bitter Nigerian aunties. But auntie, come on, like... Anyway, you will see me in my next video. Bye guys.